After 2 years without a trophy at Middlesbrough, the third season was silverware or bust. After spending so much money, we had to deliver a major honour to announce ourselves as one of the rising clubs in Europe, and we didn't just win one, but two. A League and Champions League double was secured after a dominant campaign in the Premiership and a dramatic 3-2 win over Barcelona in the Champions League final, which was without question one of the best games of FIFA I've ever uploaded to YouTube. But after the success was achieved, I then asked a question: what should we do next? Stay at the Riverside and try to build a dynasty, or move on to a new project? I threw it out to you guys and let you make the decision, and almost 12,000 of you got involved in the voting and decided that we should move clubs for the first time in the series and go elsewhere. Dortmund, Real Madrid, PSG and Juventus were the choices, and you guys decided quite convincingly that it was time to take a trip to Germany as we join Borussia Dortmund. Yes, what is going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of the FIFA 17 career mode. This is episode number 73. We're beginning season 4 in today's episode, and as you can see, we've joined the new team, Borussia Dortmund. That's where we've gone. Thank you to everyone for getting involved in the poll. I really do appreciate it. Almost 12,000 of you casting your vote, and you did decide it was time to go to the Bundesliga. So really excited for this and desperate to prove that I can be the manager to take Borussia Dortmund to new heights, and I'm very excited, and I believe I can do it as well. I really do. So as we join Borussia Dortmund then, we leave Middlesbrough for the first time. You can see the squad we've inherited here at the Signal Iduna Park, and I've got to say, it's a really decent team as well. Now, of course, in my main career modes, I tend to move between clubs 1, 2 or 3 normally, possibly 4 or 5 maybe, if I get the time. But I tend to move to new clubs around Europe, and Borussia Dortmund is a side I've never managed or I've never played for on my channel. I've never had a player career mode where I've played there, and I've never managed them either. So I'm really excited for this different challenge for me to see what I can do with them. And you saw how they got on last season. They were knocked out in the quarterfinals of the Deutsche Pokal. They finished second in the Bundesliga as well, and in the Champions League were knocked out in the semi-finals too. They haven't won any silverware, as far as I'm aware, since this career started. So they need someone to come in and deliver major honours. And how about someone that, of course, last year won 2 major honours for Middlesbrough, the Premier League and the Champions League. So I'm very excited for this project, and it should be a lot of fun. So you saw the squad report there. You see how the team is currently set up as well. The best first 11 I can compile into the 4-2-3-1 formation they're playing, and what the team looks like. They have a budget of £42.2 million. It's not astronomical. It's only like £3 million more than what we would have had we stayed at Middlesbrough. So we've not gone for the cash, we've gone for the project. And you can see their team as well. It's a little bit worrying with this contract situation. As you can see right here, so many players have their deals up come the end of the year. So despite the fact we do have £42.2 million and 220 grand in the wage budget, we do have to worry not just about signing new players to make this Borussia Dortmund side even better, but also keeping players here. There are some really big names that have their contracts up come the end of the year, and as you can see, these are the guys I'm offering new deals to, and hopefully they will agree to stay here and stay despite me taking over and want to buy into my philosophy. So the players I'm offering contracts to are Mario Götze, Aubameyang, Pulisic, Royce, Weigl, Guerrero, Marc Bartra, and also Ginter as well. These are the guys to get new deals, and the other ones are going to go. And there are some big players, some big names there that I'm letting leave the club. Gonzalo Castro, we're also letting John Guidetti go, their backup striker, the Swedish striker here as well. So there are some big names, and Roda too, Sebastian Roda. There are some big names here that I'm allowed to let leave the club, but of course I do want to make sure that the bulk of the stars here, Mario Götze, Aubameyang, Royce, I want to make sure they definitely stay, and I'm happy to give them wage increases even though they are now advancing in their years. Aubameyang and Royce are now 30 plus years old, but still, we give those guys contract. We shall wait and see what they say, and hopefully they will again agree to buy into my philosophy and want to stay on as I take over here at the Signal Iduna Park. I also got myself into a pre-season tournament as per usual at the start of the season. You get the pre-season tournament invite, and as per usual, you know the rule on my career modes. I just pick the one with the most prize money and simulate all the games. We get ourselves into the pre-season tournament, but as you can see, disaster. Just 3 days into signing a contract here at Borussia Dortmund, one of my players who I gave a contract to didn't sign his. Yes, Julian Weigl turned down his contract extension and says he wasn't sure whether he was going to commit himself to the club, as did Aubameyang as well. But as you'll see on the second time I give him one, he does agree to sign it. So a little bit worrying because Weigl a really awesome young player, and if he wants to leave the club, that's a big blow. Just 3 days into taking over, one of the players who I have high hopes for doesn't want to stay with me. That's a little bit worrying, but we'll see what happens there as the story unfolds. But still, we did get ourselves into the preseason tournament then, as we had a bid there for Gaeu, who we're going to let go. The first game was against Villarreal, and as you can see, we did win it. And as per usual, when the preseason tournaments come round, as you guys know, I play the games and then I do transfer business afterwards, look to sign players afterwards, and see how much prize money we can get, and use that in order to sign some new players. We did get a bid for John Guidetti though, our backup striker, the Swedish forward here, 27 years old, and again, this is one of the guys that has their contracts up coming the end of the year. Now, I wouldn't be against keeping him, as he is a really decent striker. He had a fantastic goals to game ratio when he went to the Netherlands a couple of years ago on loan from Manchester City, and of course in the game that would be quite a few years ago. But he's 81 overall, 27 years old, and the truth of the matter is Aubameyang is going to be our main out-and-out striker this season. We're only going to play one up top, or so it seems, so I wouldn't be against selling Guidetti and looking to bring someone else as a younger, better replacement with more potential to sit on our bench and be the understudy for the former St Etienne forward. I guess we'll have to wait and see. But of course, here at Borussia Dortmund too, there is something quite interesting in our team. What you would have noticed through the squad report is that we have two goalkeepers that are very, very good. Jack Butland, 26 years old, 86 overall, and also Roman Burki as well, 28 years old, 84 overall. A real luxury to have two fantastic quality goalkeepers between the sticks. We're not going to need them both though, and as we don't have that much money with Borussia Dortmund, 42 million's alright, but it's not that much. I think we're going to look to sell one of these goalkeepers and look to reinvest the money elsewhere, as I'm not really someone that looks to alternate between goalkeepers in my team. I tend to have just like one really, really good one, and then a pretty decent one on the bench as well, who plays in cup games and whatnot. I don't really alternate between league games and whatnot, so Burki's the guy that's probably going to get sold. Red Bull Leipzig met our counter offer of £27 million, as you can see, as Wolfsburg didn't meet our counter offer for John Guidetti, so I wasn't really sure about this, but in the end, I did just ask for the valuation and wait and see what Wolfsburg would say. So Roman Burki is surely going to go to Leipzig for £27 million, but as you'll see in just a moment's time, I totally messed up with this, because Zenit also wanted him, and I said give us £30 million, and they said yes. So the Russians were happy to pay £3 million more than Leipzig, but as you'll see in just a moment's time, Burki decides to stay in Germany instead and go to one of the most hated clubs in German football, and decided who to sign for in yesterday's upload in the afternoon. So yeah, I kind of messed up there. I kind of messed up because, as you'll see, he does end up going to Red Bull Leipzig, and I could have got more money for him, and I must say too, that was a bit of an error for me. I could have got a few £1 million more for Roman Burki, and maybe not that much, maybe like £35 million, or even just the £30 million we got from Zenit. But I've said this before in career mode, every penny counts, you know, every single penny counts. You need to make sure that you get as much as you can for your players, especially when you don't have an astronomical type of budget like a PSG or Manchester City budget, and you do have a side you want to transition like this Borussia Dortmund team. So Burki does go to Leipzig, and again, £27 million is not a bad amount of money to require for our backup goalkeeper, but I could have got more. I should have got more. I kind of messed up there, but that's just one of those things. But still, John Guidetti, as you could see, after Wolfsburg met our counter for £16.5 million, Everton also offered for the Swedish striker to try and take him back to the Premier League, and we said yes. We accepted the valuation bid, the valuation counter offer bid from Wolfsburg. So we said yes to Everton as well, as Ronald Koeman can try and compete with Wolfsburg for his signature. And we also played our semi-final in the preseason tournament as well against Liverpool, and as you could see, we won this game as well and got through to the preseason tournament final, as we tried to get the most amount of prize money possible, which is fantastic. But also, we had a bid for Sebastian Rode as well, one of the players who has their contract up coming the end of the year. I'm not going to give this guy a new deal. He's a very good player, 82 overall, 28 years old, but I'm okay letting him go for his valuation, and we shall wait and see what Watford say. And also, they came in here for Facundo Quintana as well, who's a pretty decent young striker, 72 overall, 22 years old. We've got quite a few strikers here at Borussia Dortmund anyway. I still plan on buying one too. We have two players that are retiring come the end of the year in Ramos and Bobadilla, who are still okay as reserve strikers, who can still do a job. We can't sell them, so I'm going to let him go for a couple million. That's okay with me. And Guidetti does go as well to Everton for £16.5 million. He'll join Koeman at Goodison Park, and that's okay with me, as we'll look for a younger and better replacement backup striker. Unfortunately, we did lose the pre-season tournament final as well. Manchester United beat us by 3-1. Bit of a shame, but that's okay with me. At least we got a few £1 million prize money, if nothing else. And also a big came in here for Julian Weigl as well, the contract rebel. Real Madrid said, come to the Bernabeu, we'll pay you what you want and give you what you want. But I said, no, hands off. I know he said he doesn't want to commit to his future to this club yet, but I'm convinced I can talk him round. So Weigl stays, and that's exactly what I want to see. And also Roda is going to go to Vicarage Road. They came back, said they'd only give us £11 million for the 28-year-old. It is £2.5 million under his valuation, but I'm okay with that, as I'm not going to give him a new contract anyway. And Quintana did indeed go to Italy to join Hellas Verona. And also, as the pre-season tournament was over, it was now time to look at some new signings too. And as you can see, this was the guy I was going in for the replacement for John Guidetti. Timo Werner, 82 overall, 23-year-old striker, currently playing for Red Bull Leipzig. He's a really awesome player. I had him in my Hamburg save last year. He's a really decent young forward. I'd like to bring him in if I can. So I offered Red Bull Leipzig a deal here, and we shall wait and see what they say. I offered them, I think it was £13 million plus a guy whose name I can't pronounce, and as his contract up come the end of the year, I'll have a go. Former Sarandino, how's that? Probably terrible, but we offer a bid there, and we shall wait and see what Leipzig say. And also a bid for Wellen Rufer as well. Now that Berkey is gone, we will need a backup goalkeeper to sit on the bench, and again, this guy may be 6 ratings lower, but we don't need someone to be able to compete with Jack Butland to take the #1 shirt. I have my faith in Jack Butland as the #1. I've had him, I'd probably go as far as saying I've had Butland more than any other player in career mode, to be honest. So we put in a bit of £8.5 million plus a random squad goalkeeper we have, and we shall wait and see what Schalke say. And also typical, straight after I put in a bid for Werner there, including former Sandrino, FC Cologne said, well, we'll have him if you want, 27 years old, 79 overall, but I decided to wait and see what Red Bull Leipzig would say. And as you could see, Schalke and Leipzig both rejected our bids for the goalkeeper and the striker, so I say, well, okay, with that in mind then, we'll accept Cologne's bid, or did we ask for, yeah, we asked for a counter offer actually of £12 million, and we shall wait and see what they say. Was it £11 million? 11 or 12? £11 million in the end, and we shall wait and see what the Bundesliga side say. So that's typical, really. As soon as I offer a club a player and some cash in a swap deal, I always get a bid for that player like the next day. But still, we put a valuation bid in for Timo Werner anyway, and took that player out. And also with Wellen Rufer as well, we kept this random reserve goalkeeper in because we won't need him, and I think his contract is up coming the end of the year as well. I put £11.5 million in cash, and also the goalkeeper too, so that's £3 million over his valuation. We'd wait and see what Schalke say, and hopefully they will accept that bid. We also had another bid here for another random reserve goalkeeper, 22 years old, 64 overall, Dominic Ryman. I don't think he's going to make the cut, so I'm going to let him go to Vaduz for £400,000. And also, Cologne came back to us regarding that striker and said they would give us £10 million, as Sebastian Roda did go to Vicarage Road for £11 million. So I said to Cologne, that's totally fine, but this was really interesting. I accepted this bid, but the guy never went there. It was really strange. I never got an email, and I've had this before as well. I never got an email saying he rejected the club on terms he couldn't agree with or something like that. He just decided not to go and not tell me. So he just decided to stay here instead, and I wasn't notified of that. But anyway, Red Bull Leipzig did reject our valuation bid for Timo Werner of £22 million. So we increased it to £25 million in total, and we shall wait and see what Leipzig say. But Schalke did accept our bid for Wellen Rufer here of £11.5 million plus that random reserve goalkeeper. I want this guy as my backup to Jack Butland. I think he'd be a really smart signing. 23 years old, 78 overall, must have some okay potential. We put in a contract for him, and we shall wait and see what he says. And then following that as well, a player did get sold, Ryman going to Vaduz. They're totally fine with me, and once again, Leipzig said no to the bid for Timo Werner. So I'm trying to transition this side. I'm trying to make it a younger team, look to build a new Borussia Dortmund side, and I want Werner to be part of that, but Leipzig rejected our first couple of bids. We put in £28 million though. We shall wait and see what they say, and hopefully the third time of asking, they will say yes, as we had a training injury for Schürrle here just a few days. But Wellen Rufer would become my first signing with Borussia Dortmund as well. He accepted his contract. He comes in for £11.5 million. Delighted with that. We sell Berkey, we bring in this guy. He is going to cost us a lot less on the wages and for the transfer fee too, so in the end that's totally fine with me, despite him being 6 rated rating slower, as I don't believe we needed Berkey, and he'll be a totally capable backup goalkeeper for Butland as well. And as you can see, more good news, because following that, Leipzig accepted our bid for Timo Werner of £28 million. We offer the young striker a contract, 80 grand a week. We shall wait and see what he says, and I think he'll be the perfect replacement for John Guidetti and a great understudy for Aubameyang. When he gets too old and he gets too tired and he's not able to perform like he used to, this guy is waiting in the wings to step in and become the new number 9 for Borussia Dortmund. So Werner accepts his contract, 80 grand a week. He comes in and we complete 2 signings to end the first episode in Season 4 in the FIFA 17 career mode. Werner and Wellenroof are in as I begin to build my Borussia Dortmund side for Season 4. But that will end today's episode of the FIFA 17 career mode, guys. So a massive thank you for watching the first episode in Season 4. I really hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, then please do leave a like. And as this is Saturday morning for you, and this is the first episode of Season 4, I will treat you guys to a double upload day today, double episode upload day of career mode, if you can get this video to 2,000 likes. So 2,000 likes, and I'll upload the next episode of career mode later on tonight, which will feature our first game with Borussia Dortmund in the Bundesliga, and also transfer deadline day and a few more signings as well. So there's your challenge, 2,000 likes, and another episode of career mode will be up later on tonight. So thanks for watching, much love to you all, and I'll see you for the next episode of the FIFA 17 career mode, hopefully later tonight.